The sun glowed over Ravenstone Avenue, casting warmth across polished tables where the wealthy dined in quiet luxury. Nathan Cole sat alone, certain nothing could shake him, until a small, ragged girl burst toward him, eyes wide with terror, and cried out, "Don't eat that." If you believe in compassion, hope, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more stories. Let's begin. Ravenstone Avenue shimmered beneath the afternoon sun, its polished tables filled with the city's wealthiest diners. Waiters moved like clockwork, carrying dishes so perfect they looked painted. At one of the outdoor tables sat billionaire Nathan Cole, calm, sharp, untouchable. He was the kind of man who lived in headlines yet felt nothing for the world around him. He had just lifted his fork when chaos erupted. A small barefoot girl sprinted toward him, hair tangled, cheeks smudged with dirt, eyes wide with terror. She crashed to a stop beside him, raising a trembling hand toward his dish. "Don't eat that," she screamed. The patio froze. Forks hovered midair. Security lunged forward. But Riley, the tiny stranger, did not reach for the food. She placed herself between Nathan and the plate like she was guarding him with the last of her strength. "Please," she cried, voice cracking. "A man put something in it. You can't eat that." The guard tightened his grip on her arm, expecting a lie, a trick, anything. But there was nothing in her eyes except fear, raw, sincere, desperate. Nathan watched her closely. He was not easily swayed, yet something about her expression made him pause. The head waiter lifted the dish, annoyed but pressured by murmurs rising around the patio. Within seconds, his confident posture vanished, his eyes watered, his hands shook, and he rushed inside without a word. Moments later, the chef and manager returned, pale as the tablecloths. The dish was contaminated with a dangerous toxin. Nathan's icy composure cracked. This girl, this exhausted, barefoot child, had saved his life. Police arrived quickly, cordoning off the area, questioning staff, calming horrified diners. The culprit, they suspected, was a recently fired employee with a violent history. Riley stood quietly beside Nathan, too tired to tremble. When an officer knelt to her level and gently asked where she lived, she answered like someone who had grown used to surviving alone. "I don't live anywhere. My mom, she's been missing for 2 days." The words landed like a stone in Nathan's chest. She explained she'd been searching behind the restaurant for scraps when she saw a man slip through the back door, pour something into a bowl, and disappear into the crowd. She didn't know who the wealthy man at the table was, only that someone was about to get hurt. So she ran. She ran until her lungs burned, until her feet bled, until she reached him. Nathan realized he had nearly died because no one else had noticed what she had. As the adrenaline faded, Riley swayed unsteadily. Nathan, moved by an instinct he didn't fully recognize, removed his coat and settled it over her shoulders. The heavy fabric swallowed her small frame. "Come with me," he said gently. In a quiet cafe across the street, he bought her warm soup, bread, and cocoa, the first real food she'd had in days. Riley ate slowly at first, as if afraid someone would snatch the meal away. Only after several minutes did tears slip down her cheeks, silent and exhausted. Nathan listened as she told him about nights spent in abandoned storage lots, mornings spent searching for food, and the last moment she saw her mother, Sarah, before she vanished. He was a man who lived above the struggles of ordinary people, but listening to Riley made him feel a kind of anger he hadn't felt in years. No child should ever speak of survival with such calm resignation. Nathan called investigators directly, his voice carrying the weight of someone who got results. Officers immediately began searching the area where Riley said she last saw her mother. Riley clutched his sleeve with trembling hands. "Do you think she's okay?" Nathan didn't know, but he refused to let her face this alone. "You helped me," he said softly. "Now I'll help you." Hours passed as the sun dipped lower. Nathan stayed with her, refusing to leave until they had answers. He guided her through every memory she could recall, landmarks, buildings, sounds, anything that might lead them to Sarah. Riley tried to be brave, but sometimes her voice would crack, and she'd blink hard to keep from crying. Nathan noticed every detail, and every time, he reassured her with a calmness he didn't know he possessed. Just after sunset, an officer called. They had found a collapsed storage structure near the industrial district. Inside, barely conscious, dehydrated, and injured, was a woman matching Sarah's description. She was alive. Riley nearly fell from her chair in relief. Nathan drove her personally, following police lights across the city until they reached the site. There, on a stretcher outside the damaged building, lay Sarah, wrapped in blankets, whispering her daughter's name in a trembling voice. "Mom!" Riley cried, sprinting toward her. Sarah's weak arms reached out, gathering her daughter with every ounce of strength she had left. The sob that broke from Riley was the first real tear she had allowed herself in days. Nathan stood nearby, watching the scene with a tightness in his chest he could not remember ever feeling. As paramedics checked Sarah, she asked over and over how Riley had survived alone. When Nathan explained what Riley had done, how she had saved him from poisoning just hours earlier, Sarah broke down completely, thanking him through tears. But Nathan shook his head. "She saved me," he said softly. "She saved herself. And she saved you." The evening air settled into a quiet calm. Police wrapped up their investigation. Riley stayed by her mother's side, clutching her hand like she never planned to let go again. Nathan looked at the two of them, two lives shaped by hardship, held together by a child's bravery, and felt something shift permanently inside him. Money had built his empire, but courage had saved his life. And he knew, without question, that he would remain in Riley's life. Not from guilt, not from obligation, but because her bravery reminded him of the humanity he'd forgotten. All because she dared to shout the words that stopped fate itself. "Don't eat that." Thanks for being here. Like and subscribe to keep more unforgettable stories coming.